What's up, guys, and welcome to a brand new review up on the channel. And today I'm talking about kind of a random movie, but it's a movie that I just watched for the first time, and then I actually just watched it again, just to kind of solidify my thoughts on it and opinions on it. And that is the 1973 version of The Wicker Man. Now, this also came out in 1974. I think it was released in the USA on August 7th, 1974. That's what IMDb says. But I think it was released internationally elsewhere in 1973. It doesn't necessarily say. But yeah, so this is, as I said, the first time I've ever watched this movie. I have seen Midsommar, which I have here, which is definitely similar to this movie. I do plan on watching the Nicolas Cage Wicker Man movie. I've heard a lot about it, and I do kind of plan on watching that, maybe even getting it eventually. But a buddy let me borrow this, so if you're watching, thank you again for letting me borrow this and watch it, because first off, I think it looks great on Blu-ray. I'll say that. The picture quality, right off the bat, is great. Now, if you guys don't know the story of the Wicker Man, I'll read the IMDb synopsis here. A Puritan police sergeant is sent to a Scottish island village in search of a missing girl who the townsfolk claim never existed. Stranger still are the pagan rites that take place there. So basically, I will be getting into brief spoilers in this review, so if you haven't seen this movie and you don't know what it kind of entails, maybe this video is not for you, but if you have seen it, definitely stick around. So basically, this sergeant, played by Edward Woodward, Sergeant Howie, the character's name is, he goes to Summers Isle in search of a missing girl, this Morrison girl. And he's basically there to look for her, and when he gets there, things start to unravel as everybody sort of lies to him and says, we don't know who this girl is, but she has a desk at school. She's part of the registry, but she's not part of the death registry, so maybe she hasn't died. Maybe she's been kidnapped. He doesn't really know, but as the film sort of continues, he notices really weird things that are happening in this place, Summers Isle, like basically a bunch of naked girls jumping over a campfire. There's a scene in the beginning where he walks outside of a pub at nighttime, and there's all these people having sex outside in the field. There's a lot of weird things that he encounters in this, to where as he's learning more and more about what they do and their paganistic religion, you know, as the film continues and he sort of comes to the conclusion that this Morrison girl, Rowan Morrison, is going to be sacrificed on this May Day, they call it. So I'm kind of skipping to the end of the film, but because that's where everything comes to a head, the end of this movie. That's what you kind of want to talk about, the end of the film. But everything building up to it, how he sort of discovers what these people are all about. Christopher Lee comes in, who I haven't really seen a lot of Christopher Lee movies when he was like younger like this. So he was great in the film. I think he might have actually stole a show. He plays Lord Summers Isle. He's the Lord of the island, and he's basically he's the Lord. Everybody sort of takes orders from him, and it's his way or the highway, basically. But everybody's sort of brainwashed into this paganistic religion of sacrifice and all these weird sort of traditions. And they have this May Day tradition to where someone has to be sacrificed in this big Wicker Man suit. Not suit, but this big Wicker Man. Literally, it's a tall man made of wickers that there's a ladder to go in. You go in, they close the door, they sing around you as you burn to death. And that is Sergeant Howie's unfortunate end. He goes in disguise to this Mayday event to save this Rowan girl, to where he sort of turns, the tables turn on him, and he realizes, this Rowan girl and everyone else has been playing me the whole time. They're out for me. They want to kill me and sacrifice me. Because that's why I had to watch this movie twice, because there's a lot that's slipped in throughout the film to where when we kind of realize what the deal is at the end of the movie, and that everybody's out for him. And when they sent the letter to a police officer, they sent it to him so he would come there because he's a virgin and all this. He would come with a free will. So it is really interesting, that aspect of it. I thought that was pretty cool. But throughout the movie, he's sort of tested. Like this girl played by Britt Ekland. She plays Willow, the daughter of the landlord or whatever, the guy who owns the bar. She kind of offers sex to the sergeant, and he wants to do it. It's a really weird scene to where he's, she's kind of dancing and singing and pounding on the wall on the other side naked, and his room is on the other side of the wall, and he's sort of up against the wall, and he's just making all these weird faces, doing this on the wall as he's being tortured. But yeah, he's a virgin, so that's something. But I was just like thinking, what if he did go in the other room and have sex with this girl? There's also a scene, as I said before, where he goes in. He goes basically undercover. He knocks the barkeeper out, and he puts the costume on. So he goes as the barkeeper, basically, to this Mayday celebration. But initially they wanted, because he went to go rest in his bed, which was upstairs, and they wanted to knock him out with a candle made of a hand, I guess. So what if they did make him go unconscious? Because the girl even says he'll be asleep for days. So what if he really did go unconscious? Were they going to sacrifice that Rowan girl? I guess they were. I guess. But then again, if that was the case, then why did you even send the sergeant an invite? It's things like that that are a bit of a head scratcher to me. But I do really love that he is really into like Christianity and Jesus, and that his beliefs are very strong in that way. And Christopher Lee and everybody on the Summer's Isle believes in this paganistic, unholy nature, basically. So there's a clash of religions in this that you don't see in a lot of movies. I think it was handled really well, actually. And the end of this film is kind of really powerful in a weird way, to where he's trying to convince everybody not to murder him, basically, but nobody listens. They all listen to Lord Summer's Isle, who says, our crops will grow back if we sacrifice this guy. So they all go ahead and put him in the Wicker Man and burn him to death, which is a really well-made scene. I mean, this is a well-made movie. This is a well-acted movie. I think the editing is pretty good. I think the costumes, cinematography, I think it all is really good, and especially on Blu-ray. Even the music I like. The music is really weird in this movie, but I like the music. There's really weird songs throughout that I think are funny, kind of. I mean, there's this one song that goes something like, "Go gently, Johnny, go Johnny, go," or something like that. I don't know, but it's interesting. I think this is a pretty good movie, actually. I mean, I actually like it more than Midsommar. Midsommar, I feel like, is a lot of style over substance. It's Ari Aster trying to do things in the first and second act of the movie, but in the third act, it's just totally, it goes off the rails. Where in this movie, it does go off the rails in the third act, but it still feels like there's still that battle of good and evil almost, and religion. In this, you don't really get a lot of answers in this, but from the way it ends, it is similar. I have to watch it again, to be honest with you, but it is a lot longer. It's like Midsommar is like an hour longer than The Wicker Man. So this is an easier watch, in a sense. I mean, if you don't like watching human beings get burned alive, and you don't think you can handle that, probably not the movie for you. But, I mean, it's only an hour and a half, and it is really kind of entertaining. And honestly, I think this might be one of my favorite horror movies. I would call it horror, but it's a different kind of horror. This is like a mystery, it's a thriller, psychological horror. It's all those things kind of mix, and they mix seamlessly. They really do, all the tones. But other than the stuff that I mentioned before that's kind of a head-scratcher, which makes me kind of curious, what would have happened if he did sleep with the girl, or he did get knocked out by that candle and did sleep through the thing. Or in the beginning, even when he says, "I need a dinghy," and they said, "Nope, can't do. You need papers." And then he says, "I'm a police officer." Then they let him on because it's like, oh, this is the guy that we messaged. If he never said it, he was a police officer, and he just flew away. I mean, I guess they would have. I guess they would have sacrificed Rowan. Maybe they were like, okay, Rowan will sacrifice, but if he comes, that's a better sacrifice. So I guess it makes sense in that way. But I really like this movie. It's sick and twisted, but I'm going to give it 4.5 out of 5 stars. My only other nitpick and gripe is a movie like this, Midsommar, or even the Nicolas Cage Wicker Man, which I didn't see, but I know how it goes. I just haven't seen the movie. I want to see a movie like this, but where the Christian guy, or whatever religion, Catholic, Christian, whatever, he wins. I want to see that movie. Like, I would love to see like a Rambo crossover with the Wicker Man, to where Rambo takes out all these nutcases. Because that's really what they are. No disrespect. I don't think there's a lot of paganistic people in the United States anyway. But in my point of view, they're a bunch of psychopaths. They're psychopaths. And I want to see a movie where they get taken down. I want to see a very similar first and second act. But when shit hits the fan, I want there to be carnage. I don't want the poor man that's only trying to do good to die. I want all these psychopaths to get mowed down. Is that sick of me? Maybe, but that's the version that I would make personally. I would love to see that version. Then you get both versions. The versions where the Summers Isle people win, and the version they don't. I feel like we never got that, and I would love to see it. But for this film, 4.5 out of 5 stars. And I will say, Edward Woodward as the sergeant gives a really, really good performance. Christopher Lee as well as Lord Summers Isle, really good. And I do think everybody else, all the side characters, side cast, is really good as well. And this is directed by Robin Hardy, who I just checked. This is his directorial debut. He only directed 3 movies, I think, and this was his first one. So yeah, really enjoyed it. Now, if you guys didn't see the movie and you watched this video and you don't really care about spoilers, definitely check this movie out. Like I said, I borrowed this from my friend, so I don't own it, but I do kind of plan on maybe picking it up eventually. But I do really like the movie, and I would probably put it in like a top 5, at least top 10 horror movies, favorite horror movies. I think it is pretty good, actually. So yeah, sick movie, but I would watch this over Midsommar any day. Alright guys, that's about it for me. I hope you enjoyed this review. You can follow me on Twitter, OrionKing72, and Instagram at KingOfRises131. And guys, that's about it. Thank you so much for watching. If you're not already subscribed to this channel, hit that subscribe button, because tomorrow, including Split, Dunkirk, and we've got all these movies to talk about. Yeah, and there's going to be digital giveaways galore, so get excited for that. It's going to take place somewhere from around 4 to 5 p.m. tomorrow, Eastern Standard Time. Yeah, so that'll be fun. Guys, thanks for watching my review for The Wicker Man. I'll see you guys next time. Over and out.